What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the Lego Batman movie. And as I continue my reviews for the Lego movies, I'm very happy to be joined once again by my buddy Rashad from his channel, Rashad Reviews. We're going to be hearing from him in just a little bit, but a big thanks once again to my guest for being here in this video. You guys can find the link to his channel down below in the description box. Go give him some love. Let him know I sent you. But for now, let's get into the Lego Batman movie. Directed by Chris McKay, who, for the most part, as far as his filmography that he's directed, I was probably most familiar with him because of his Robot Chicken directing, which, you know, I think can kind of get lost in the shuffle. You know, a lot of Robot Chicken feels very similar to one another, but he did the Robot Chicken Star Wars stuff, which is definitely really cool, and actually just recently directed the film The Tomorrow War starring Chris Pratt, which I've yet to see, but I heard some mixed reviews about. So yeah, he's the director of this film, and this film stars a really star-studded cast with Will Arnett, Cera, Rosario Dawson, Zach Galifianakis, Doug Benson. I mean, so many names in this movie. Jenny Slate. I mean, the list goes on and on. So right out of the gate, you already know you have a top-notch voice cast. And as I mentioned in the Lego movie review that I did with Rashad for the first one, yeah, you know, I'm not really huge into Lego. When I was younger, I had some Lego toys and stuff like that, but I wasn't ever really one of those kids that had the attention span and the focus to like just open up the manual, see how it's built, and just build these huge sets. I've always thought it's cool. I've always wanted to do something like that, but it's never something that I've ever dived deep into actually doing. However, I love the Lego video games. I've played all but maybe 2 or 3 of the Lego games, anything from Lego Star Wars to the Lego Marvel games to the Lego Batman games to the Lego DC games altogether, Lego Rock Band, some of the racing games. Like, I've just, for some reason, love Lego games. And so, yeah, when I saw that they were actually going to make a Lego Batman movie after the success of the character from the first Lego movie, also starring Will Arnett as the character, yeah, you know, I was definitely hyped to see how this movie would turn out. I went to see this movie back when I was working at Cinemark, and I went with my mom, and yeah, it was a great time. Honestly, I really enjoyed this film. Visually, right out of the gate, just similar to the first film, top-notch animation. I love that they're able to use 3D animation in this way that makes these Lego bricks a lot of times look like real Lego bricks. That was a positive that I had about the first movie, whereas that in certain lightings and certain angles, you can actually see thumbprints and fingerprints all together on these various Lego pieces, giving that really lived-in feel to these Lego pieces, like somebody is actually playing with them and that we're actually just watching somebody's imagination. So this film definitely has a similar thing going on there, but because this one is a Lego Batman movie and definitely has a little bit more of that comic book element to it, there's definitely a lot of vibrancy to the colors, a lot of big over-the-top elements, and just visually, I think this movie is great. I really enjoy the way the movie looks, and I have a lot of fun with this film just on a visual spectacle level. Beyond that, like I mentioned, you have a star-studded cast, and everybody gives a really great performance, and at the center of that really has the heart of the story, without a doubt, is Will Arnett playing Batman. And, you know, he plays this very over-the-top, serious, brooding character, but what I really enjoy about this interpretation of Batman is that it definitely leans a little bit more into the character's emotions, but in a fun and silly way. One thing that's really cool about this version of Batman is they treat this Batman as the only Batman, and so they actually refer to the different phases of Batman, going all the way back to the Adam West show, going to the Batman animated series, some of the more dark, serious versions, some of the more goofy versions, and they pull from that to kind of make it seem like this is part of this Batman's history, and I think that's really cool. You know, the idea that there's one Batman and he's been around forever. He's had all these different really cheesy and dark personas, and there's all these different things they can refer to, but it's all one guy, you know, and we all know that that's not the case. But I think that this movie can definitely play along with that in such a fun and silly way that just really leans into what this movie is all about. And yeah, you know, you're probably wondering, what is this movie all about? But, you know, it's essentially Batman. It's the story of Batman. Him finding a family is really what it's all about. This is the story of Batman connecting with Robin, meeting him for the very first time, played by Cera. You also have Rosario Dawson in here, like I mentioned, playing Batgirl, and Zach Galifianakis plays the Joker. And throughout the course of the movie, you have this kind of feeling of just wanting to be wanted. Even the Joker in this film is just excited and in love with the idea of being Batman's main villain, of being the main villain that Batman kind of needs to kind of go back and forth with. And so Joker just kind of wants to be wanted by Batman in this movie, and at the same time you have Batman kind of having this attitude that he can do everything alone and he doesn't need anybody in his life. And he learns through Batgirl and through Robin in this film about family, and also through the character of Alfred, which of course we all know Alfred is that kind of character, and I believe Alfred is played by Ralph Fiennes. So yeah, again, top-notch cast, and I just really enjoy the fact that this film is definitely able to lean heavily into this idea of family and not really being able to do things alone, even when it comes to the villain in this film. I think ultimately this film definitely touches on a lot of the more emotional beats than I think any other Batman movie we've ever gotten before, which is kind of funny since this is a Lego Batman movie. But, you know, a lot of the other ones definitely lean into trying to be this, you know, mystery, thriller, darker kind of action movie, or some really goofy, you know, past versions of Batman that are just very comic booky. And this movie has a really good blend of all of that. It has its dark and brooding moments, but it's always kind of, you know, kind of laced with a little bit of cheese in there, a little bit of a corniness, because this is a Lego movie that's meant for families. But yeah, ultimately is a film with a really strong message about family and that sense of unity and not being able to do things alone. I think ultimately that's something that anybody can relate to when you watch a movie like this, and it's something I definitely enjoy about this movie. Now, before I wrap up my thoughts on this movie, let's go ahead and hear what my buddy Rashad from his channel Rashad Reviews had to say about this.
Perez, what's the deal? Pickles, is everything kosher? So our tit for tat saga continues. This time you got me watching the Batman Lego movie, which is a follow-up to the OG Lego movie, which I also enjoyed. But I enjoyed this one a lot better because it's Batman, one of my favorite superheroes of all time. But, you know, I gotta say, in this Batman Lego movie, they give Batman more personality than they ever have. I mean, as much as I love the Nolan Dark Knight trilogy and the Michael Keaton Batman, you know, Batman is not known for his personality. He's not known for being charismatic. He's the world's greatest detective. He's cold. He's a loner, and he kicks a lot of ass. You know what I'm saying? But the appeal to Batman is because he's so intelligent. He's the world's greatest detective. You know what I'm saying? You know, you appreciate Batman, but he has the personality of a wet mop. So this movie actually gave Batman a personality, made him funny, and it poked fun at a lot of the Batman lore. And every villain is in here also. You know, I'm assuming you're going into spoilers. But the theme about this movie is family. Only thing missing from this was Dominic Toretto talking about family. Your family, your family, and your family. You can't make it on your own. I can kind of relate to that because I'm somewhat of a loner. I don't have a lot of people around me. I'm pretty much, you know, I just like being to myself, you know what I mean? So I can kind of relate to Batman in this movie on that level. But you can't do it alone. You need somebody, okay? You need somebody to lean on, somebody that you can trust. You need family. And so Bruce, Batman, struggles in this movie because of when his parents got killed, and after that, he was afraid to have family again. So what's funny about this movie is, as silly as it is, as funny as it is, it has a lot of damn heart to it. This is a kid's movie, but it had a lot of heart where it kind of tugged at the heartstrings a couple of times. I mean, even from the beginning, where Batman refused to tell Joker that he hated him. All Joker wanted to be was appreciated for being the villain that he was. I like, look, you know, I complete you, you complete me. Together we run this city, you know what I'm saying? I run, you chase me, we have a beautiful thing going on here. And Batman totally disses him like, nah, bro, like, you're nothing to me, man. Like, I don't care nothing about you. And the look on Joker's face and the music that kicked in, I was like, I wanted to give him a hug, man. I felt for Joker, you know? So it was moments like that. And I probably laughed the most for some reason, bro. Out of everything in this movie, I laughed the most when Bane spoke, because he sounded like Tom Hardy's Bane. So every now and then Bane would come in with the, yeah, yo, Gotham's reckoning, you know. I laughed at this movie a lot, but I will say one of the gripes that I have with it is that I think it was a little too long, all right? This is a fun adventure. It has a breakneck pace, but I think it was just a little too long, because when a movie's paced like this, when it's so fast and so vibrant and energetic, after a while, it kind of loses its flavor, you know what I mean? So for a movie like this, I say the sweet spot probably is like an hour and a half, and this went on for like an hour and 45 minutes. So just a little too long, but that's just me nitpicking. I really enjoyed this movie. I had a great time with it. Batman has a lot of personality. And also another scene that made me laugh was when he went to the Fortress of Solitude to go see Superman, because he thought Superman was a loner like him, but Superman was throwing a party with the Justice League, and Batman wasn't even invited. And I also love the relationship between him and Robin. Dick Grayson. Dick always called him he didn't call him Pops. What do you call him? You call him Papa or Pops or Poppy or Padre or something like that. So yeah, man, family is a theme of this movie. Just like in the first movie, it was about being comfortable with yourself and, you know, just being yourself. You know what I mean? But this one is about family. You need somebody to lean on. And Batman, for the first time in his life, has a family. It's very touching, very sweet story. And also a very entertaining story. So yeah, the writer and the director of this movie did a great job of balancing the comedy aspect of it, the kid aspect of it, and the heart, because, you know, even the whole, I mean, it starts out with Man in the Mirror, you know, make that change. Touches you, gets you right here sometimes, you know what I mean? So, besides the runtime, I really have no gripes with this movie. I give the Lego Batman movie an A freaking plus. I dug this movie, man. I will watch it again. Thank you for introducing it back to me, because I haven't seen it in a long time. But now that I watch it again, I realize how great this movie is, and I will watch it again. So, there it is. Thank you once again for having me on your channel in this video. And looking forward to the next endeavor that you have for me, bro. And I'm sorry in advance. I know you have to watch Black Belt Jones. I promise you there's a method to my madness. There's a reason I'm having you watch these movies. And it's going to pay off at the end. So with that being said, Perez, the floor is yours. What else you got for the Batman Lego movie?
A big thanks to Rashad for being here in this video. As usual, my friend, always a pleasure to have you here in a video, and I very much look forward to seeing everybody's comments down below about what you thought about the movie. And I'm glad for the most part you and me kind of see this one eye to eye, man. I'm glad that you're enjoying this series though so far. And for all of you guys, definitely keep your eyes open for when I have the Lego Movie Part 2 coming out, also with Rashad. We're going to go through all of them, as well as Lego Ninjago, so we'll definitely be getting to those as time goes on. But a big thanks again to Rashad for being here in the video. You guys can find a link to his channel down below in the description box. Go give him some love, let him know I sent you. And for now, let's go ahead and wrap up my thoughts on this movie. So like I've said, a really nice touching story with a great message about family and the sense of unity. On top of that, you have great voice cast, great animation that's just top notch, that really brings these Legos to life in a really cool and fun way. And as somebody who's just a fan of Batman in general, there's so much DC lore put into this. There's so many jokes made about DC elements that people have been poking fun at for so long that are in this movie. And beyond that, there's just tons and tons of references to tons of other franchises using that Lego property, whether it's Doctor Who, Jurassic Park, Lord of the Rings. There's so many references jam-packed into this movie, so you could definitely have a lot of fun, and there's a lot of things you'll probably miss the first time around and be able to kind of pick up on as you go on. Beyond that, you also have a great score. I really enjoy the music of this film. It's fun, it's light, it's big at times, and yeah, ultimately this is a movie that brings me smiles, that brings me laughs, that gets me emotionally invested, and just makes me care about the characters of Batman in that world in such a different and cool way, that's silly and light and fun, while also having some more serious things to think about in terms of the story and that element of family and unity. And I really enjoyed the way that they handle that in this movie. So I'll go ahead and wrap up my thoughts right here by saying a big thanks to you guys for watching. Please do leave your comments down below. Do you like this movie? Do you not like this movie? Do you think it kind of holds up with the other Batman movies? I kind of love when I hear people say that this is probably their favorite Batman movie or one of the best Batman movies, because I would agree. Who would have thought that the Lego Batman movie would definitely be one of the better written Batman movies? I genuinely think this is one of the better written Batman movies. So a big thanks again to all of you guys for watching. Please, the link to Rashad's channel is down below in the description box. Go give him some love. Let him know I sent you. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Like button, comment, subscribe. And yeah, bye-bye.